Hello. I'm going to do a quick walk before I go drive to my parents' house for work, because that's where my brother lives and that's where I work. That's where I live. No one do a reverse Google image search on that and figure out my address. What a fucking freaky world to live in, you know? Like, hi guys, posting a video, don't reverse Google image search my house and stalk me. Though I do, it's a gamble I'm playing. I assume by the point in time I become popular enough that that's a risk, I'll have enough money to mitigate that risk. So that's fun. And I'll document how I do it all here for y'all people with long attention spans. That's something I'm for on this channel. I have 4 people with long attention spans and basically just on the side of anyone who has a long attention span, because I feel like the culture war is between those with short attention spans and those with long attention spans. If you have a long attention span, then you want to have complex discussions, consider a variety of viewpoints. You want to put your long attention span to work, goddammit. But if you have a short attention span, just put the government in charge of it and then put me in charge of the government and kill anyone who disagrees. Typical Nazi bullshit. Just short attention span. They don't want to deal with it. They're just like, I said Zeke Hale and he's still talking. Just shoot him already, you know? It's just very frustrating. So I'm on the side of people with long attention spans in this current culture war. And as part of my Lion Diet sleep optimization video series, let me tell you how I slept last night. I slept like a goddamn baby after fasting all yesterday while on Vyvanse. I think, and I feel great today. I took methylene blue. Got to get some more of that. I'm going to do a little admin day tomorrow and cap supplements and figure out what everything is that I need for everything so I can place my Amazon orders and get all that stuff in and get more stuff for my B vitamins and all that good stuff, because I'm kind of running low, but whatever, you know. Just order more of it. It's just been the fact that I haven't sat down and ordered more stuff, so I've got to do that. But after fasting all yesterday on Vyvanse, not on Vyvanse today, if you can't tell by the speed and variety of thoughts that are coming at you, then, so anyway, fasted all yesterday on Vyvanse, slept like a baby. Oh my God, took a bunch of salt, magnesium, slept like a baby. It was awesome. Had some fermented tea and chlorella too. B vitamins throughout the day naturally. Vitamin C. Taking calcium ascorbate, get the calcium in. Taking some calcium carbonate too to support my metabolism. Just calcium, really great. Taking vitamin D as well. Took some raw fish eggs. And I just slept like a baby yesterday. It was great. So I think since my diet and everything is so optimized, that I also took CBD oil yesterday. Since my diet and everything is so optimized, smoked a little weed at night. But since my diet and everything is so optimized, I am currently I'm currently working on the process of getting off of substituted amphetamines and amphetamines, Adderall, Vyvanse, etc. Getting off of those because I like making these videos, and I like these videos are easier for me to make off of ADHD medicine. Just easier to make. Easier for me to make videos. It's easier for me to engage in the sorts of unconventional thinking that have defined my life and made it different than other people's lives. Also, I feel like Adderall is, I think ADHD is very real. Well, I'm not saying I don't think ADHD is real. I'm simply at a point where everything is so optimized that I don't think that ADHD is anymore a problem. It's no longer a bug, it's a feature. And in my experience, when I first went on Adderall, first got diagnosed with ADHD was definitely a bug, or it was definitely bugging me. It was very much a problem because I had underlying, like my gut was, I had having solid poops now constantly in carnivore. Last time when I got diagnosed with ADHD, I was on carnivore, but I was not having solid poops. I was consuming energy drinks, the artificial sweeteners and energy drinks, It's giving me constant diarrhea. It's making my brain feel very unstable, except for the brief period of time after which I consume said energy drink. And that instability was making the ADHD unmanageable, basically. Like right now, I have a million thoughts a second. I have constant mental interruptions going on. I have constant different streams of thought coming in. I have like what feels like a persistent 50,000 foot perspective on my life and everything I'm talking about in the world and the global economy and world history and like structure of language itself and human relationships and jiu-jitsu. Just what I'm seeing right now in my mind's eye. It's all that, and it's just constantly transforming. But it's not really a problem because my attention can follow. My thoughts aren't fuzzy. They're very, very crystal clear. They're just crystal clear, razor sharp. So that's fine. My thoughts, though, if they became a little bit more fuzzy, then I just end up, or if my energy, like I have tons of energy right now, so my thoughts became a little more fuzzy, I would just be like, and then if I had like a little bit less energy, like right now I have a ton of energy, if I had a little bit less energy, I'd just be sitting on the couch trying to muster myself. So, but because I have energy, because my thoughts are razor sharp, I'm just hyper creative all the time. So that's very helpful. But it's it's like a very sensitive instrument is only useful as a sensitive instrument if it's clean. If it's dirty at all, then the sensitivity becomes an impediment, not a feature. And that's ADHD. That's really what it is in a nutshell. My experience is my brain is hypersensitive, which is awesome for like figuring out which supplements are best, figuring out which training programs are best, figuring out like which ideas are best, figuring out which marketing strategies are best. Amazing. Like, I feel like I can see through the matrix. Like, I feel like my brain is just like going 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's like you're trying to solve a puzzle and your brain was capable of combining all puzzle pieces in all possible combinations simultaneously. It's pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, if someone's insisting the puzzle goes together a different way, it doesn't help you because all you can see is how they're wrong. But if you got to figure the puzzle out for yourself, very, very useful. So I'm getting off of amphetamines, but the problem is I've been taking them for like every day for 5 years. So if I don't take them, my body's like, low energy. We don't need energy anymore. Like, what's energy? And it's like, it happens like this. Like, I'll stop taking them and I'll feel like tired. So today I took paracetam because paracetam is just super helpful. Methylene blue, B vitamins, salt, all that, theobromine, caffeine, all that, very helpful. But if I just keep on, let's say I just go straight off, and I did this in my paracetam and lion diet video series, go straight off Adderall. And after like 10 days, my body it just feels like I keep eating. I'll describe it. I keep eating. At first, I just start off, I'm just ravenously hungry, and I eat, and I eat, and I eat. And my brain kind of finds this stability at day 6, 7. And then it just kind of keeps going. I keep eating. And I get to this point where I just feel like sluggish and hungry, and I can't sleep. And I'm really tired, but I'm really hungry. And that happens around like day 13. So then I just would do a fast. Typically, because I wasn't sleeping, I would smoke some weed too. I'd do a fast, smoke some weed, take some Adderall. It would just fix it. I just go back to sleep, poop out all the crap in my gut, feel great. And I'm like, okay. And then I went back on Adderall. So I just go back on Adderall because I was like, okay, like I've been fixing my sleep for like a while now. It's like physician heal thyself. And I'm documenting the entire process because y'all have no idea how fucking hard this is. I am dealing with some shit that has killed every single other person who's ever dealt with it. Google fatal insomnia, Morvan syndrome, or anti-NMDA receptor encephalopathy. Okay, enough on that. So physician is healing himself very well. Don't you get that twisted. But in the process of not only healing, but optimizing myself, when I run into an issue, I go back to the last thing that worked really well. That's something I do with diets. Like, you can always just try a new diet, because if the diet doesn't work out for you, you just go back to the last thing that was actually, it's starting to rain now, so I'm going to get in my car and wrap this video up. But you just go back to the last thing that was working. Because, and there's variability though, because your body's biochemical conditions, which dictate how your body responds to what you're doing, change in response to what you're doing and just in response to time moving on. So there is this element of cyclicness that can kind of throw that off, which is why I'm writing the God Engine, because it's just basically how I fixed fatal insomnia and what I learned doing that. So, but yeah, so basically though, I just kind of go back, because I was able to get back to like sleeping 5 nights a week on Adderall, basically, during this whole process. I was able to get back to sleeping 5 nights a week on Adderall, and that's like not terrible, all things considered. I mean, it's not great. You feel tired all the time, or at least like I feel tired all the time. I don't know how you feel, but I feel tired all the time when I'm sleeping 5 nights a week. And it's just not, it's not great. Like, it's not an optimal circumstance. So rather than settling on that, I decided to go try the other last thing I did that worked, which is when I had insomnia the second time, my second big fatal insomnia episode. I've had 3 total in my life, with just tons of normal debilitating insomnia splattered into that. So basically when I had that going on, I was doing lion diet and paracetam, or carnivore diet and paracetam. Eventually went straight to lion diet and paracetam because just carnivore wasn't working, and then I introduced energy drinks, and there's like the supplements I was taking, a magnesium stearate. There are a lot of suboptimal things that I was doing when I was 19 that I just didn't know as much about at the time because there's no real information. There is, it's just hard to find, and it's hard to put together because it's not necessarily in the form you need, but basically, yeah, I'm getting off of Adderall, and one of the things I concluded to do, so I wrap up this thought, this is the benefits of being off of Adderall, is I have these great big thoughts I have to like wrap up, but they're interesting because I just said they keep having more and more and more and more and more, and it becomes this entire thing, and I write books, and it's awesome. So, my body has to adjust to energy production, to stable energy production without the stimulus of Adderall. So I am only going to take Adderall when I'm not eating, because food itself is its own metabolic stimulus to the brain and to the body. Adderall is a metabolic stimulus to, I believe, peristalsis in the gut and the brain, but probably via the brain. So it's a stimulus, something stimulates, my body's used to that stimulus, so I'm going to change the context for the stimulus. My body's used to Adderall with food. Okay, now I'm going to introduce Adderall without food, and then today I've had paracetam with food. So now my body it has metabolic inertia from the Adderall that's maintained by the paracetam and also further stimulated by the food, because food itself is a metabolic stimulant, but not in the context of the Adderall. So my body, which is seeking homeostasis, seeking the state that it's used to, so you have to get your body used to a functional state. If you're not in a functional state and you haven't been for a very, very long time, that's its own topic. But body's seeking homeostasis says, okay, paracetam, turning on prefrontal cortex, food, stimulating metabolism. Adderall used to turn on prefrontal cortex. Adderall stimulated metabolism yesterday, but in the absence of paracetam, in the absence of food. Today I have food and paracetam. And the benefit of the calories makes it easier as well. It's a little harder for my body to produce energy without calories, a little easier with calories. So the calories I make it a little bit harder while fasting to make it easier when I'm not fasting. And then my body adjusts. So then my body can produce the same levels of focus, energy production, stability, sleep quality, off of Adderall, on food that it produced on Adderall, off of food, which is the same, which is actually superior to what it was producing on Adderall, on food, with the previous regime that I was doing. There's a lot of nuance that goes into this that all depends on what I was doing previously, and like metabolic inertia is a huge topic. My brain is switched on right now. My circadian rhythm is functioning. My brain is not switched on when my gut is not working, when I haven't digested food for a week. There's no inertia. The system behaves differently. But once inertia is established, the question then becomes maintaining inertia the way you want to, the way that serves you best. Done.